If you've spent time in Hazlitt or Okemos, you probably recognize the clock tower behind me. This clock tower is located at the Meridian Township Municipal Complex. It's taller than just about anything else around it. But did you know that this tower serves another purpose? On the surface, it looks like a clock tower. Nothing more, nothing less. But inside the tower, there are bundles of cables stretching from the ground far up into the sky. This clock tower also serves as a cell phone tower. More than 20 years ago, years before the invention of the iPhone, long before absolutely everybody carried a phone with them at all times, this tower was constructed to provide cell coverage in the Lansing area. Community members had the foresight to request a clock face be added. That way the tower would look a little bit more pleasant. Now, this clock tower may not look futuristic, but it was built with the future in mind. It was built in consideration of the thousands of residents who would come to rely on their cell phones every day, and in consideration of what people might want to see or not see while they're driving down Marsh Road. Welcome back to our Eternal Growth Group study. Last time, Pastor Stainbrook helped us think about the present and the importance of embracing life's circumstances with endurance and with faithfulness. Life is tough, but Jesus is faithful. Now we turn our attention to the future. Although we have strong opinions about the past, we ought to focus on life in the present. We spend a huge amount of our time contemplating the future. For the past 50 years, researchers at the University of Michigan, they've carried out a study called Monitoring the Future. Every year, researchers collect data from thousands of 8th grade, 10th grade, and 12th grade students to get their insights into decision-making about drug and alcohol use. As you can see from the chart on the screen, alcohol use among teens has steadily declined over the last 50 years. Maybe this makes you feel optimistic about the future. But then again, a YouGov poll from a few years ago asked teens what their dream job would be. The number one answer, what do you think? An internet celebrity, being a star on YouTube or TikTok. Other vocations, maybe something like being a teacher or a firefighter, are further down on the list. Well, maybe this makes you feel pessimistic about the future. So how should Christians feel about the future? Should we be optimistic or pessimistic? Actually, neither is the correct answer. Christians can be optimistic or pessimistic for a mix of good and bad reasons. But more than any of that, Christians ought to approach the future with patience and with prayer. Paul has similar advice for Timothy in our reading today from 2 Timothy chapter 3. Paul does not sugarcoat it. The future is going to be tough for Timothy. Not only is Paul likely going to die soon, but Timothy is going to have to deal with times of difficulty. Being a young pastor is no dream job for Timothy. People will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless. unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having the appearance of godliness, but denying its power. Avoid such people. Whew! What an unpleasant future. A few verses later, he says, indeed, all who desire to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted, while evil people and impostors will go on from bad to worse, deceiving and being deceived. What is Timothy to do? Well, first, Paul says he should be patient. Paul knew a lot about patience, right? He had to be patient in prison on multiple occasions. He had to be patient as he preached the gospel to people who didn't want to hear it. He even had to be patient to go and be with Jesus in heaven. Paul is clearly ready to die, but he has to wait for God's timing. Paul tells Timothy, you, however, have followed my teaching, my conduct, my aim in life, my faith, my patience, my love, my steadfastness, my persecutions and sufferings that happened to me at Antioch, at Iconium, and at Lystra, which persecutions I endured. Yet from them all the Lord rescued me. Why can Christians be patient when facing an uncertain future? Because the Lord will rescue us all. 2 Corinthians, Paul writes, he delivered us from such a deadly peril, and he will deliver us. On him we have set our hope that he will deliver us again. We should certainly be patient. Patience usually involves waiting. So what should we do as we wait? We should pray. Pray for those who persecute you, as Jesus taught. Pray for what tomorrow may bring, but don't worry about it, for each day brings enough trouble on its own. Pray for your family members, your friends, and yes, pray for yourself as well. Well, one of the most beautiful things about the Lord's Prayer is that Jesus teaches us to pray for things that we definitely know are God's will. We don't always know the Lord's will about the future, but we do know that he will give us each our daily bread. He will deliver us from evil. He has delivered us through the cross and through the empty tomb of Jesus. He will deliver us again when Jesus returns. Until then, you might be optimistic or pessimistic, but what's more important is to be patient, to wait for the Lord and his timing, to serve others with the time he has given us. We can't live in the future, but we should anticipate it. We should be ready for what may come with patience and with prayer. And because of Jesus, we know that the Lord will be with us each and every step of the way. May God bless you as you anticipate the future with patience and with prayer.